you were 2,000 miles away without me knowing about it. And then you make a mess over there. See anything wrong with that?
Yes, sir.
Of course. I open the door for one, and everybody will say, I want the Hunter Chappelle rule. Over here. 17-28063 is called the State of Texas versus Hunter Chappell. Is that you?
Yes,
or is
sir.
it Chappelle?
Chappelle.
Okay. And you are here with your attorney and the state's attorney. So Mr. Faggart has requested a bond to be set. You are on regular probation. That means you were found guilty for evading arrest or detention with a motor vehicle, a third-degree felony, and sentenced to 10 years in prison. And that was suspended. And you were placed on regular probation for 10 years on July 30th of 2018. So that's over 7 years ago. A year ago, now, why did that take so long to get processed through? Oh, because it happened in another state.
That's correct.
That's
Your Honor.
correct. Where's the probation officer on this one?
Mr. Burrell,
Who is the probation?
I think he actually reports in Orange and to a probation officer there, but Mr. Burrell is his supervising officer here.
Your Honor.
And it was just added, Your Honor.
It was just added.
Like
They
yesterday.
They did it as I actually added on as a courtesy to me because I'm going to be gone next week.
I need everybody in on this one. Really. Can somebody get over here quickly?
Yes.
Well, we can, while we're talking, thank you. Okay, so this states that there's a motion to revoke probation that has been filed that states that you committed the offense of operating a motor vehicle under the influence, and I guess under the influence of an intoxicating substance, I presume, not under someone ordering you to do something, I guess, but it's not clear. And this occurs on or about September 15th, 2024, a year ago, out of Somerset County, Maine, in violation of condition 1 of your probation order, then leaving the scene of an accident, motor vehicle accident on that date, Somerset County, Maine. You left the state of Texas without prior approval. Is that he left the state of Texas without prior approval by being in Somerset County, Maine? Is that
Yes, Your Honor.
right?
That's correct.
Where a mess occurs on my watch and fails to immediately report to the probation office his arrest. When is it we find out about all of this? Probation, anybody, can we find out? I'm asking some questions that I need somebody to tell me, whoever's supposed to know, because I'm sensing something bad here.
We did get notifications. I know of the arrest in Texas. I'm not sure about out of the state, but Mr. Burrell is on his way.
Is he going to know?
Yes, yes, sir.
While we're waiting, Your Honor, he was up in Maine working. That's what I understand it.
Yes, sir.
Is that where his case was transferred to?
Ma'am,
Was he transferred to Maine?
No, he just is out of state working.
let's complete the thought, because this administrative hearing, do you have a copy of this administrative hearing?
I do not.
Okay. Says that he violates, don't leave the state without prior approval from the Jefferson County Probation Office. He was found to be in Somerset County, Maine on September 15th without a valid travel permit from Jefferson County Probation. He's AWOL on my watch. And so there's a mess, a wreck. Then he leaves, then he flees. No, this isn't good.
Well, I understand the court's concerns about
You
it.
think?
I absolutely understand them.
All
And
right. Well, once again, what is he on probation for in the first place? Evading arrest or detention with a motor vehicle. And so you're here because of a wreck that occurs in another state on my watch, because you're there's some irresponsibility in operating a motor vehicle again, a 4,000-pound missile. You're convicted of this. You're convicted of this. You're a felon in this case. And to be avoiding responsibility to follow all the rules is not an answer. And to be in another state making a mess without the court's approval is not going to be tolerated.
If the court will allow me. And I know this looks bad.
Why do you think it looks bad?
Because he's out of state and has a writ.
Because it's bad. It is bad. It doesn't just look it, it is.
But it would probably shock you, Your Honor, that these offenses in the state of Maine are like a Class C and Class B misdemeanor. Even though it's a crime. Okay, I understand.
Mark, he's in another state without my approval. He's making a mess in another state.
I understand.
We can't minimize this. I don't care what the laws in another state are. It's the laws here in Texas that I'm concerned with. I don't have a clue, and I don't have any interest in worrying about Maine. But I don't want my watch to be messed up. You've got to follow the rules here.
Yes, sir.
In this state, you weren't. You didn't get the prior approval. And I want people to work as much as they can. And I'm real flexible about it, but don't do it surreptitiously, especially when you're on probation for a vehicular problem. Anyway. You've got a motion to set bond. Go ahead.
That's correct, Your Honor. We'd ask you to set a bond in the amount of $10,000. We found out there was a warrant out here. He got in contact with me. We surrendered. I've actually been monitoring the case once he came in to see me about this, and we were waiting to see that a motion was filed. And then I've been in touch with Mr. Burrell. He's actually on probation as well from Hardin County. They are taking a wait and see approach with him.
What's he in probation for Hardin County?
And that was on before you got here, wasn't it?
Yes.
Maybe
What are you
What's he
on probation
for? is my
Very
question.
labor habitation from 2013.
And he'd been doing very well on their probation, Your Honor.
Wait, how long have you been on probation? If it's 2013, that's 12 years ago. You can't be on probation longer than 10 years.
They reset it when I got discharged here in Jefferson County. It restarted to 10 years, to 8 to 10 years.
I guess they extended it, is what he's saying, Your Honor.
Yes.
No, what he's saying, he's making a mess everywhere. Is what I'm learning.
Yeah. But in regards to what's going on in Hardin County, we've gone up and met with the probation officer there. The courts are taking, the probation office up there is taking a wait and see attitude with him. He's wearing a wrist monitor that will, of course, prevent him from drinking or doing any type of illegal deal. The incident in Maine occurred, and his wife is here to testify. The court would like to hear from her. The reason that he had a bad night in Maine is they were separated. They have since made amends. He is a father of a 4-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter. 8-month-old daughter. She feels they were having some tough times in the marriage. He was out of state working. Yes, he should have had a work permit. He was out. He got it. I don't want to talk too much about the facts of that because I'm not representing him up in Maine. But we know he was up there trying to make a living and support his wife independence. His wife is very supportive. I don't think he's a flight risk. I think he knows he better be here because you have the power.
He's not a flight risk? I didn't know he was up in Maine.
Well, I understand that, Your Honor. And I wish I could.
What's the definition of a flight risk?
I don't think he's going anywhere now.
No, he's not going anywhere now.
But I would ask you to set a bond for him so he can return to his employment and try to provide for his wife and 2 children. I mean, and I think he's had a really good, and from my understanding is from talking to Mr. Burrell, and he will be here for the court to talk to up until this incident. He had done very, very well on probation. He wasn't a problem. Matter of fact, I think Mr. Burrell, since you lived in Orange, he was supervising on both this case and the Orange.
I'm multitasking right now. Go ahead.
So I think he understands the very much the seriousness of this dilemma. I think that perhaps he understands he can't go up, can't ever do anything again to violate your orders or the orders of Judge Thomas up in the Hardin County Court. I setting a bond for him will ensure that he will show up. He has not had a drink since this incident in Maine. His wife is here to verify that. He certainly understands that any further mess up during the pendency of this motion to revoke probation will certainly land him in jail with you. And I think he gets the message. So we're going to respectfully ask you set a bond. I ask for 10,000. I think he make. You would ask if you go ahead and set a bond for him to allow him to return to his employment and to his young wife and their 2 young children.
All right, here, I'm gonna give this to you. I can give it to him. This is your signature?
Yes, sir.
Read. That's the probation order that I signed and you signed. Read that out loud. Read that out loud. To refresh your memory about what you promised.
The court authorizes your community service supervision officer to modify conditions of community supervision and to transfer you to any community supervision
No,
program.
where you signed.
I have received a copy of this order and I agree to follow all conditions imposed upon me, and I know that this community supervision can be revoked for any violation. I will remain in legal custody of the District Court of Jefferson County, Texas, and I hereby waive extradition if I am charged with a violation and am arrested in another state.
Anything about that you misunderstood?
No, sir, I did
It's
not.
pretty clear.
Yes, sir.
You signed that on the day I placed you on probation, which was on July 30th of 2008. So you know, for 7 years, you made a promise to this court, everybody else. And all I can do with probationers is trust that they will honor their promises. And when you don't, then in this court, because the seriousness of what we're talking about here, here you're looking at up to 10 years imprisonment, then it's important that you honor your obligations and promises. And I did not grant you authority to be over there. You were AWOL. It's bad enough when somebody crosses a county line, but you were 2,000 miles away without me knowing about it. And then you make a mess over there. See anything wrong with that?
Yes, sir.
Of course. I opened the door for one, and everybody will say, I want the Hunter Chappelle rule. If you catch me in another state, 2,000 miles away without me getting your approval, I want you to treat me just like you treat Hunter. You think that would open the door for like a Pandora's box of trouble?
Yes, sir.
Everybody is going to be treated fairly. What's good for one is good for all. And I'm not going to start the Hunter Chappelle rule. Shame on you. You're going to be held accountable. Strictly. Your bond motion is denied. You're not, I don't trust you. You made promises you did not keep. You went 2,000 miles away from your promises. I can't trust you. Your word. Sit. Thank you. Don't interrupt this court, ma'am. If you got a problem, you go outside. Okay? That's the only way we can handle it. Probationers here. We got 5,000 people on probation.
I understand, Your Honor,
And Mr. Chappelle knew better. I just see this. Do you have the pre-sentence report on this case at the beginning? Do you have a copy of it by the state?
I do not.
Is somebody coming over?
Yes, sir.
Do they have a pre-sentence report? Because we don't keep it, of course, in the file. I'd like to look at this pre-sentence report to refresh my memory.
If he doesn't have one, I'll have one faxed over.
Thank you. Okay. I vaguely remember, we've had thousands and thousands of cases. I vaguely remembered this because it hurt. I grew up in Pitt County. So this all happened in Nederland and Groves. And here, the underlying offense that we placed you on probation for, I was wondering why regular probation, and it was a very serious case of aggravated circumstances here. The police, where the Nederland police were dispatched to a disturbance near Luke's Ice House on Nederland Avenue in Nederland. And then they learned that two male subjects had left the parking lot in a silver vehicle. And the police discover the vehicle going southbound on 347. And then the chase occurs. And they've got the screaming emergency lights and sirens going, and the vehicle refuses to stop, goes through multiple stop signs, intersections, turns through South 12th Street to South 15th Street, and continued with the vehicle coming to a rest near the intersection of 100 South 14th Street. It had destroyed several mailboxes during the pursuit, had damage to the front tires, and then both occupants of the vehicle ran from the scene like little scared girls. As the passenger of the vehicle exited, officers pursued the subject and then observed a white male wearing blue shirt, black shorts, dark colored shoes, running westbound. The driver of the vehicle was identified as you, and Hunter Chappelle, and refused to, was given verbal commands to stop, didn't, refused to comply. They had to deploy their taser on you, but you kept going. Despite the orders to stop, you fled, jumped over several fences, and they lost sight of it. But several things were found at the scene, which traced them back to you. And then Groves PD went to a residence where you lived, and then there you are with a bunch of taser barbs in your back. How do you explain that away? And they removed the taser barbs and then arrested you, placed under arrest, and were filed on this case.
Here's a copy of the PSI.
And thank you very much. In your version here, I wasn't supposed to be around convicted felons, but my friend Lucas just got out of prison. I drank some beers, stopped at a convenience store to use the restroom. I'm not going to lie, I took a shot of liquor. We bought the bottle of Jaeger into Luke's. I told him you can't have that in there. I'm tired of paying for drinks. They're expensive. Got in an argument. I'm thinking he just got out of prison. I'm trying to get him out of the situation. I dragged him to the car and I took off. The police tried to pull me over. At that moment, I blacked out. Okay. So we have an adult misdemeanor history here, and goes back to 2012. How old were you in 2012? You were born in 96 or 95, right?
Yes, sir. 17.
Okay, so that would have been 17. Okay. So how many separate convictions of misdemeanors did you have on that day when I sentenced you? How many misdemeanors? And this would be thefts, burglaries, possession of marijuana, evading arrest. How many separate dispositions did you have then?
I think 4 or 5.
9. You see anything wrong here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then adult. Okay. At this time, when you had this case, we had you on a burglary of a habitation out of Hardin County from 2015. Burglary of a building, 2015. Substance abuse history here, it goes back. The point being is, violations of the rules of law have their consequences. And after all of this, now you're 2,000 miles away without my permission, getting in a wreck. AWOL. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 misdemeanors. 1, 2 prior burglaries of a habitation in a building that you were placed on probation for out of Hardin County. Then we put you on this. Then you got the conviction here. And so we've you got no room for error. Okay, from probation, what I'm curious about here is the we got the allegations that he was operating. Says operating under the influence, I guess operating a motor vehicle under the influence. That doesn't say that, it says operating under the influence. I don't know what that means, really. Was he on it? But we know he was in a vehicular incident in Somerset County, Maine on September 15th of 2024, then left the scene. But and he was on our probation.
That's correct.
Okay, we did not know anything about that.
Nothing at all.
From probation, what else? There's a motion here to set up a bond for him. So I'm trying to refresh my memory on as much of the circumstances of this offense, his criminal history, and what happened in this event, so that I can make an intelligent decision here, an informed decision. From how did we find out that he had been in Maine?
So he's been courtesy supervision in Orange County for both.
So Orange County's been the direct.
That's correct.
Okay.
By our probation and also Hardin County. So Orange County runs a updated criminal history every year. And so that's what they did in May of this year, Judge. They ran a criminal history. I was advised from the Deputy Director, Ms. Ray of Orange County, that the defendant here had been arrested in Maine in September of 24.
When did we find out?
We found out May the 27th.
Of this year?
Yes, sir.
Did anybody see anything wrong with that?
And then an administrative hearing was submitted to the court.
I should have
on
been,
June the
a
11th.
minute after it happened, I should have been told. So it took 8 months for me to find out? And it wasn't you that told. So, no, there is no bond here. Let's get this motion hearing done as soon as possible, please. You think you've made enough mistakes in your life?
Yes, sir.
You made a promise to me
Yes, sir.
you didn't keep, obviously. But I'm going to do something that needs to be done. And that is, I'm going to hold you accountable. One way or the other. But actions have consequences. The rules are to be obeyed. And when you don't follow the rules, you get punished. Nobody knows more about it than you, since this has happened over 11 or 12 times now. Separate occasions. When can we be ready for? Can we make copies of this so I can have it?
Yes, Your Honor, you can keep that copy, and I gave a copy, I gave one to
Mr.
Miss.
Faggard.
Yes, sir, he has one. You
have
can
one,
keep
Your
that,
Honor.
Your Honor. And he has one.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can we be ready for a hearing in a week, or do you need more time than that?
I'm gonna be gone a week, so I'm gonna need more time than that. I'd like to just discuss, things with Mr.
Boyd.
Yeah, 1 minute. So,
2 weeks good? 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks better?
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right. Mr. Chappelle, you understand where you stand here with me? You
Can I
understand?
just, can I say one thing too, sir?
I would, yeah, whatever you say is taken down. You're, you may be, you ought to think about whatever you say.
Be cautious.
Because your reputation for truthful and honesty with me is poor.
Sir.
You can understand why.
Yes, sir.
Made promises that now have turned into a gigantic mess. 2,000 miles away. Without me knowing about it. That's pretty serious. But I would run everything by him first before you start saying something out loud. Because you need to think carefully what you're going to do from here on. So I'm going to reset this for 3 weeks. All right. See if we can see where we are in 3 weeks. If it's not resolved. Otherwise, then I want everybody to be ready to get a hearing because I just don't think there's a lot needed here to prepare for. Because I think all the information is available for everybody to work with right now. All right. Oh, thank you. All right. Thank you. We're in recess. We don't have anything this afternoon, do we?